Hey everyone, welcome back. This is episode 4 of my writing vlog for YouTube, and there is so much to unpack right now that has been going on in the month of May, and it's kind of hard to believe that we are looking at June 2nd this evening. So yeah, I think the last time I updated you guys, I had just gotten back from the Las Vegas Writers Conference, and that was amazing. It was such a wonderful experience, met a lot of really cool people, and actually a lot of stuff for today's vlog is kind of revolving around this writing convention here. So in May, kids got out of school, and so we are out for summer break right now. We got to go to Orlando, to Disney World for the very first time, and that was super duper fun. A lot of crazy things for the first time happened down there. My daughter, Kaylin, who is doing cheer right now, she won Summit with her team. And so that was a really cool way to cap off the rest of that vacation before we came back to Las Vegas, and traveling with 2 toddlers for the very first time. I never did it with my older 3. It was a lot, and we were exhausted, and it took like a week and a half to pretty much recover from everything. So I didn't do any writing, I didn't do any photo work when we were down there. Everything was just vacation and cheer competition the whole entire time. But when we got back, it was right back to work. And for today's episode, I guess, we're going to talk about what we are planning on doing moving forward, or what I'm doing. And if you're new here, my name is Meg. I have been writing my debut novel since 2003. I started it in my English class my freshman year of high school, and I graduated in 2006. So it has been a very long time that I have been working on this. If any of you guys were born in the 80s or 90s, or maybe even the early 2000s, maybe you guys know what an AOL chat room is. I started writing a long time ago, doing role plays in the old taverns of the AOL chat rooms, and then once upon a time ended up jumping into message board things called relays, where one person would write a story and then another person would add on and then add on, and it could be a couple of people, it could be a lot of people. So I crafted a lot of my writing through that. And a little bit more background story, super big Disney lover, and getting to go to Disney World just kind of ignited it for the first time. Let's see, I've just always liked making up stories, and then I went to school to be an illustrator for Disney, and more kids came, and then I ended up diverting and doing photography, which is another form of storytelling. And yeah, now we're back to here in 2025, where I'm still doing photos, I'm still drawing, not in school though, and we're working on getting this novel finished. So coming back to the main meat and potatoes of this story here is that during the Las Vegas Writers Conference, I met some really cool people, and one of them is, her name is Sue Brown Moore, and she is a developmental editor. I actually got to do not really a pitch session with her so much as it would be more of advice, and getting to, have her hear the first few pages of my book, and then go from there and kind of see like, what would you recommend me doing, or how should I approach this? What changes should I make? And she ended up liking it so much that we ended up going back and forth, and now I am going to be hiring her as my developmental editor. So that will begin partway this upcoming weekend, and we're going to start doing some little things, and then starting in the fall in September is when I'm handing her the full manuscript. So there's a lot for me to do between right now and then. And I guess for an actual update on where the manuscript is, I am at half point still. I didn't get as much done in May as I wanted to, but I'm at about 40,000 words, and I want to hit 80,000. So there's a lot of writing that's going to be happening this month for June, and my personal deadline was July 1st, but right now I have until the end of August. So I'm going to try to do as much as I can through June and July, getting all the writing completed. And then from there, what I'm going to try to do is do a month of edits in August, just to make sure all of grammar, punctuation, all of the line editing type of stuff is going to be knocked out. So my question to you, if you're watching this and you are either doing traditional or indie publishing, what are you guys doing as far as editing? Are you getting an editor, or are you guys going to do it yourself? I have not really asked anybody else what they are doing, and so I'm just kind of navigating this water on my own. I've been writing for as long as I have been writing, and it wasn't really up until about 18 months ago that I was really paying attention to like the professional side of everything. It's always just been, for me, and I had no idea that conferences were a thing, and that workshops were a thing, and all of these master classes online, and just everything, all the stuff that's on there. There's so much, and so trying to like brick by brick build the business side of it, or what's the marketing side of all of it, along with trying to learn about like what steps you take whenever you are trying to get an actual book published, has been a huge learning curve. So that is kind of like what I'm navigating at the moment, and I'm not gonna lie, it's been kind of overwhelming, and I'm hoping that June will help me get caught up with everything since we're back from vacation, and the kids will be kind over the summer break. All 5 of them are home right now, and so trying to keep them entertained. We just got a pool in the backyard, so I'm hoping that keeps them worn out and having a whole bunch of fun, where we don't have to go too many places and go too crazy with all of that. But and if you're a mom and you're writing, and you'll get it, you'll understand. But anyways, so yeah, right now June is going to be just trying to get as much of that word count knocked out, and trying to figure out little teeny tiny pieces of just making the manuscript flow. I have notes at the beginning of every chapter that I am rewriting, trying to get it completely flushed out. And actually, I've got something that I wanted to pull out here. Hold on. I pulled out an old binder the other day, and I'm using it again. It's something I've had for, I feel like, forever. But this stack of papers is something that it was like the original, my original manuscript, and it is so bogged and messed up now, but the original writing that I had from forever ago. I feel like I have a cat in every video that jumps in here. That was the original manuscript that I had from like the early 2000s, and when I first finished it, like that's completed. Very messy. Actually, most of that isn't even in this manuscript that I'm doing right now. I figured that probably in 2014, 2015, when I was reading through it, like I was super proud back then, and then I took a big break around 2018 when I was sharing it with somebody, and just imposter syndrome, and I ended up not really liking like what it was, where it was going, what it was doing, and it had so many plot holes and everything in it. So I ended up putting it down for a while, and then when my my most recent kiddo was born in 2023, I picked it back up, and I was like, I can do better than that, So scraped tons of characters, tons of material, and then I ended up just deciding that I was going to completely start over, pretty much replotting the entire thing. So all the notes are at the top of my chapter headers right now. So as I'm going through each chapter right now, I have like basically little pinpoints of where I'm going to be taking it, what needs to happen. And as I've been writing, it's been flowing pretty well. So I'm very happy with the direction that it's taking. And I'm trying to also include where I'm at right now, because I want this to be a series. I'm trying to get it where this will filter into book 2, 3, 4, and if it goes further than that. And now that I'm working with a developmental editor, I have to make sure all this stuff is going to be as organized as possible, because I can't just be like, oh, sticky note here, random piece of paper there. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm trying to also regroup in June and make sure is clean and organized, and that I don't let any ADHD bad habit come in and it like I'm all over the place scrambled. When the time comes around, I really want to make sure that I can follow each note through each book. But on that note, Yeah, I think I mentioned it in the beginning of the video. If I didn't, I imagined it. I am going to try to get an account on Query Tracker right now and start researching agents. It's still really early for me to start querying anybody, but one of the things that I'm wanting to do is start to research like who is seeking manuscripts in the genre that I'm writing. And right now mine is fiction, fantasy, romance. I'm still trying to narrow it down and make sure that I've got the exact name of it. I know romantasy is kind of a big deal with as far as like a new name is out there right now, but I don't know if Query Tracker has that specific term. And so what I'm trying to do is make sure that whatever the actual genre is, I have it completely narrowed down to the exact ones that I need to use for pitching. So, and then from there, I can get to kind of have an idea of like who that agent is, what are they into, and try to take notes for when I do each personal letter, and take the time for that. All the notes that we had from the conference here in April, there was just so much information put out there for us to digest, and I have a notebook that took tons of notes on. But I want to make sure everything's super personal for each specific agent that I'm going to query, and make sure that we're taking it bit by bit. So we'll see exactly how that goes, and I'm hopeful that it will end up being, not as difficult and scary as it sounds like it's going to be. So if you've queried and you have tips or notes or whatnot, please leave me a comment below, or some kind of encouragement that it won't be like the most worst thing in the world trying to, jump into. But anyways, I am going to get dinner made right now. I have to go feed the kiddos. You probably saw one of them jumping in the background. But then I will come back here in a little bit and do another quick update before I wrap up this video and let you guys know like the remaining amount of stuff that I've got for this month and the goals that I've laid out, and then we can go from there. If you want to keep up with everything, please like and subscribe, and that way we can kind of keep in touch and you can see what's going on with all this. But my hope is that starting in the beginning of the year, I will have this manuscript edited, organized, and we're in the right direction to start querying, because I will go back to the Vegas Writers Conference in April of 2026. And if I haven't started to query before then, I will definitely, fingers crossed, be ready to do in-person pitching sessions there. So we'll see what happens, but more coming next. I got to do some writing, I got to do some cooking, and I will be back with some more. Hey everyone, so I am filming part 2 of this video today. I just got back from an eye appointment because my eyes have been like bothering me really bad when I work on the computer between photo edits and writing, and I've been seeing kind of like a chromatic aberration where it's like a blue, green, red halo on like white screen areas of the TV and on the computer lately. So got that checked, and as suspected, my eyes are not doing as great as I was hoping they were going to be doing. So I have to get new lenses on old glasses of mine, and I gotta wait about 10 days for that to come in. So right now I'm just sitting outside because we're having a rare thunderstorm event here in Las Vegas, and it's relaxing outside. It's not sweltering hot in the middle of the summertime now, or I guess the beginning of June. It's not quite the middle yet, but it's nice outside right now. So I figured I would sit out here and just listen to the birds and the wind and watch the rain fall and everything on my front porch. So one of the cool things I wanted to talk about that's been going on too is 2 months ago I joined my first book club, and it's been really cool with everybody in there. I've been sharing stuff with what I'm doing for my writing in the book club, and they've been super supportive. So I've been very appreciative to finally have a friend group here in Vegas that's not just work related. So I've enjoyed that, and I'm hoping that some of the people from the book club will be kind of like a beta reader for me as all of this stuff kind of unfolds over the next few months. What else is going on? Essentially right now, one of the things that I'm trying to work through, and I don't know if any of you guys have had any problems with any of this, is just trying to make sure that the flow of all of my writing is hitting its point that it needs to, so that way each chapter has something going on in it. And right now I've got kind of like a checklist that I'm working on that, like, did something happen? Is it moving it forward? Is there a goal? Did anything in this chapter correlate with anything in previous chapters where it's actually moving the story forward and it's not just stale or just filler material. I in old manuscripts like the one I had shown you from previous, there was a lot of filler in there, and I was trying to kind of mask up and cover up areas that weren't as developed as they could have been. And that's a reason why when I picked it back up several months ago, I cut out a lot of material because so much of it was filler, and I didn't want that to be what bombed this first book. So right now I'm working through little notes and everything and getting stuff prepared. And then with the editor that I currently have right now, I start with her with kind of like a cohort type webinar thing this weekend on Saturday, the 7th of June. And then there's a 3-week program following that I'm doing with her and a small group of other people, and we're working on all these little checklists and things that will prepare for that developmental edit that's coming later this fall. So I'm really excited about it because some of the questions that she's already prompted for this this June program that she's doing has really made me think about certain things that I didn't really think about before. For example, some of it involves, like, is there significance with the birth date for your character? Or is there something that motivates them? Or is there a root fear that you have to discover of what motivates your character and why? And things like that, you can't give like a simple statement. So these are some of the little teeny projects within the entire project that I'm trying to work through for the month of June, while trying to get those last 40,000 words written out. And I'm just trying to figure out exactly how to answer some of those things, because some of these are so thought-provoking that I've never had to really put a lot of oomph behind it before, and it's something that I've never really had to think about. And if I lunge at the camera, it's windy outside, and I want to make sure that my camera doesn't fall. So if I start getting kind of it is because this thunderstorm is bringing a lot of wind to our little area in the valley. So anyways, with the writing though, I am definitely trying to get these little questions out of the way, so that way it produces a much better product and manuscript at the end of the day. So when she does get a hold of it, I'm not having to like think about it down the road. And so I'm grateful for that. Essentially though, there's a lot of work that's going to be done in the month of June between the fulfillment of all of these exercises that she has for us, and then the few people that are doing everything with her, on top of what I'm already trying to accomplish, what things that I've already pre-planned for where I'm taking it all. So I'm hoping that later this year, on top of what I'm doing with her, there's going to be some other type of workshop that's here in Vegas, or maybe something virtual. So if any of you guys who are watching have any recommendations of things like that, workshop, or not really a conference right now, because I feel like I don't think there's really much left over here in the Vegas area, or that I would be able to travel to. We've got a really heavy schedule with our kids. If you guys don't know, I have 5 kids, so they all have sports and programs and all kinds of stuff that they're doing right now, and travel's going to be pretty tight this fall for me. So anything that's online would be really, really, really helpful. I'm trying to also network with as many people as possible, just to kind of get my name out there and to meet more people, whether it's a writer, agents would be great, but if not, then just people who are in the industry. I don't want to sit behind my desk and hide. And I think in all other areas of life, since I've become a mom, and since moving to Las Vegas, I've really become a hermit. So I'm trying to put myself out there more with being on YouTube on top of just in real life, not hiding behind the keyboard and a screen. I don't know if any of you guys struggle with that, or if you get anxious, like social anxiety really, really bad. And I think that's something that jumping into the writing world and doing that first conference back in April has really forced me to be present in person. And it's something that I never really thought about. I was actually talking to my husband about this, going to our eye appointment earlier, is that like, you have to stand out. You have to be present in this day and age with anything that you're doing. But I feel like, especially with writing, because you have to have a voice out there, but also you have to have a presence in order for people to remember who you are along with your writing. So I am trying to not just be a homebody and stay on my computer and within my house, and actually get out and meet people and make friends and network and do all of that stuff. So that's probably one of the scarier things for me about all of this, and one of the things that I lack is getting out into the world and talking with other people and not just being online. So I'm sure some of you guys probably kind of relate to it. Maybe I'm weird, I don't know. But yeah, so that's kind of the other part of all this that I wanted to talk about before. And oh, this wind is really picking up right now, so I'm gonna try to hold it. Okay, sorry. The wind is like randomly gusting as I'm talking, and I'm trying to make sure that this doesn't like topple my camera over. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap up for now. I do have some stuff that I'm gonna try to get knocked out today. Today is Wednesday, so I'm gonna try to get all of this stuff knocked out before, or today's Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know what day it is. I'm gonna try to get this stuff knocked out because Saturday is approaching really quickly, and I wanna be able to get a few more words thrown into the manuscript before this weekend starts up. And I'm gonna try to vlog weekly. That was something that I wanted to do this year, and I did not do a good job of that in the month of May, but I am going to try to get as much filmed and recorded, and mostly just documenting, not like curating anything, just documenting exactly where everything is at, the good, the bad. And then I'm gonna try to just keep that pace going for the summer, and then hopefully in the fall, when things really pick up, both for photos and kids going back to school, and when all of these edits and things start rolling back whenever she's had a month with the manuscript, then hopefully we will be in a good spot for transitioning into 2026 later in the year, that I've had enough of this to keep you guys updated. So if you have any suggestions as far as the writing virtual things that are online, or if you're working on a manuscript, like, let's talk. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing, what you're struggling with, if you've got things that have been helping you keep you in line or organized with everything. I'm getting ready to move my manuscript from Dabble Writer online to Word, because that's how she wants the PDF. But if you have anything that works for you, or things that you'd like to share or suggest, please comment below, so that way we can go back and forth, because I'm still learning the ins and outs of everything, not the writing part, not just the writing part, but like the community as a whole. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate you being here if you made it to the end. And if you're interested, hang around, hit subscribe and like, and I will see you in vlog number 5 in a week. See you later.